I've observed amongst the startup founders and entrepreneurs that I mentor and advise, a feeling that business is this construct, this matrix-like entity with its own rules, conventions, and that in order to succeed at it, you have to learn, observe, and play by those rules and conventions. Well, actually, business can be anything you want it to be. Your business, you can totally design to be anything you want it to be. The words business plan often strike fear into the heart of many entrepreneurs. Actually, a business plan doesn't have to be 20 sheets of closely typed text with Excel spreadsheets. A business plan can be one sheet of paper, and as long as you say very clearly how you intend to make money, that's a business plan. My startup, IfWeRanTheWorld, is a simple web meets world platform that turns good intentions into action, one micro-action at a time. If Facebook is the social graph and Twitter is the interest graph, I design it to be the action graph. But I'm trying to do something much more difficult than Facebook and Twitter, which is get people to actually do shit in the real world. When I and my team began building IfWeRanTheWorld, I said to them, I want us to innovate in every aspect of how we design and operate this as a business venture as much as the actual platform itself. Because I want us to design our own startup around the working lives that we would like to live. So, for example, I said to Jason, my tech lead, I want us to design our platform so we can operate on a very lean core infrastructure so that if, as fingers crossed, it grows and scales, we don't have to grow and scale with it. I no longer want to run that kind of a company. I demand extraordinary talent, I only hire extraordinary talent, and I will therefore work with extraordinary talent wherever I find it. The rest of my team is not based in New York where I am. Jason's in San Diego, my programmer's in San Francisco, my user experience lead is in San Diego. We remote work. The Skype video call has transformed my life, and it's free. So we don't need an office. We don't need to carry those overheads. We obviously come together at key nodes of the process. But essentially, we work out of my apartment, my team works out of theirs, we work out of coffee shops and hotel lobbies, and we go and visit clients. My brilliant co-founder, Uni Chase, who is my user experience lead, her background is in digital advertising. And so she understood what I meant when I said to her, our business model at IfWeRanTheWorld is grounded in brands. We're going to be working with brands as clients. I want us to design our brand and business user interface and experience with as much care as we design the interface on the web platform so that we design out the crap and we design in the good stuff. And what I meant by that was I spent years as an advertising agency CEO dealing with crap. Really fraught client compensation negotiations, difficult meetings, argy-barges. This is my startup. I don't want to have to deal with all of that anymore. So, it's a work in progress, but essentially we are designing our brand and business user experience to be a nice process for everyone. And actually, if more tech firms that have advertiser-funded business models, and quite frankly, more advertising agencies, thought about paying as much care and attention to actively designing their business user experience, everyone would have much happier working relationships. A business model can be anything you want it to be as well. There are no set templates for business models. You can decide to design how you would like to make money. I designed my business model on IfWeRanTheWorld to be democratic, transparent, eminently affordable, universal, and radically simple. And I did that for 3 reasons. I read years ago a quote in the Harvard Business Review that said, the single most destabilizing dynamic in any organization is a sense of unfairness. And they're absolutely right. So, I designed our business model so that the same principles operate for everyone we work with. The absolute amounts they pay us differ based on the work we're doing for them, but the principles by which they pay us are the same for everyone. Secondly, I designed my business model to be transparent because several years ago, when I came up with the idea for IfWeRanTheWorld, and this happens a lot less these days, people actually said to me, oh my God, Cindy, you want to build a for-profit business venture out of doing good. You can't do that, that's outrageous. You've got to be a non-profit. I went, screw that, I want to make money. But okay, I'm going to design a business model that is completely transparent, so whenever anybody asks me how I make money, I can just tell them. I have nothing to hide. And the third reason I designed my business model like that is because I didn't want to have to worry my pretty little head about it. Again, I spent years as an ad agency CEO dealing with very complicated negotiations. I decided I wanted a business model where I didn't even have to open an Excel spreadsheet. I could carry it in my head to know at any one time how much money I was making. Now, obviously, it's very easy when you're a startup founder and entrepreneur to design a business from the ground up. What do you do to blow it up and start again if you're already working within or running an existing large company? Well, a lot of people come to me for help and advice on life stage and career crises. And I always ask them to do two things. And these are actually exactly the same two things you should do whether you are a person who is wondering where you should go next or whether you are a company wondering where you should go next. The first thing is identify what it is that you absolutely love doing, that you're passionate about. And if you're in a job at the moment, look at your job you do, be ruthless, strip from the record all the stuff you hate doing, focus in on the stuff you really love doing. And sometimes when you do that, by the way, the stuff you're passionate about is not necessarily numbers 1, 2, and 3 on your job spec. So number one, identify what it is that you absolutely love doing. And number two, identify the conditions under which you love doing it. So you might go, I really love doing this, and I particularly love doing it when I only do it between these hours, when I only do it working with these kinds of people. Maybe you really love it working with these kinds of clients, or you particularly love it only doing it from this location, or these two locations. And then design a job, a venture, an opportunity around those two things because it'll never feel like work. You're doing what you love doing in the circumstances in which you love doing it. And that applies to companies because in too many industry sectors today, we are looking at collaborative competition. Everyone in the sector is competing with everyone else by doing exactly the same thing everybody else is. When you focus in on what you really are brilliant at, which is what you love doing, and the conditions under which you love doing it, you make yourself far more distinctive and you elevate yourself above the competition. And by the way, you also make yourself enormously cost-effective because you can strip out whole layers of cost and you give your employees a happier working experience. I'm about the opposite of Tim Ferriss's The 4-Hour Work Week, which presumes that life is made up of the horrible bit, work, and the really nice bit, everything else, and you should try and get the horrible bit down to the least possible amount of time so you can spend lots of time doing the nice bit. Actually, my motto in life is less work, more money. That's what I think we should all be getting to. And I'm all about the no-hour work week. Because when you turn what you love doing into business, then you are living what you work, you are working what you live. You may work every hour God gives you, but it never feels like it. I have two ventures, If We Ran the World and Make Love Not Porn. If We Ran the World is my professional side, Make Love Not Porn is my personal side. So I've ended up with two businesses that are the two sides of me. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm working all the time, but it never feels like work because I'm working at stuff that I passionately believe in. My favorite quote of all time is Alan Kay, who said, in order to predict the future, you have to invent it. I am all about inventing the future. There is no future that happens without us and rolls us all over in its wake. I'm about decide what you want the future to be and then make it happen. And every one of you in this hall today has that opportunity, because regardless of whatever sector you work in and whatever business you have or you're working within, I can promise you that nobody else is inventing the future currently. It's only when things get as bad as they are currently, economically, globally, financially, and everything breaks down completely, that allows new ways of doing things, new models of doing things to emerge in a way they never would have done if the status quo had continued. So I just want to end by saying to every single one of you in this hall today, go out there and invent the future, because you can and you should. Thank you very much.